Hi, everybody. Hello, and thank you for joining us to this new edition of the Nimiq podcast updates. Here in this edition, we have Sven, as always, and this time we have a special guest, Tammo, whom you've seen before in some videos probably, but it's the first time he joins us in this type of podcast. Hi, Tammo. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do at Nimiq and your background?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so my name is Tamu. I work with Team Nimik. I'm a part of Team Nimik, something in between. So I work with an agency called Oasis. This agency basically does all of the design work, the product building work, and it's also involved in marketing with Nimik, but it goes deeper than that. So we, and by that I mean my partner Julian, who some of you might also know from videos, and I were part of the initial token event back in 2018. There we did our first work for Nimik, built there the page, did some of the marketing, and then left the project for I think about a year and a half. And then after that, rejoined the team and are working together with the team since then. And so basically, like stuff like the branding and the interfaces for the web apps, the user experience, that is kind of like what we mainly focus on. And of course, content creation with you guys.
Okay, so you do UI, UX, and marketing in summary. And recently, or we invited you to this edition of the podcast because you've been working on something very interesting for the upcoming Oasis launch. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, Oasis has been a lingering topic with Nimik for a long time now, right? So, from since it was conceived as an idea, we've been talking about it. People have been hearing about it, and only now are we this close to having our full release of Oasis. That of course includes a lot of preparation. We got a new website for Oasis, doing videos, but something for us as product people also has been always a bit striking about Oasis, and that is that it is still a somewhat complicated technology and setup, right? So, I mean, basically for a end user, and especially for people who are new to crypto, it is pretty abstract. It is under the hood technology, and if people interact with it, maybe in the wallet, they basically don't really get to touch it. And the question is also like, how interested are they in actually getting to interact with it, right? So together with the release, we are going to also announce a new product that we are going to build on top of Oasis. And this new
A new
product,
product?
yeah,
Tell me more about
I would love to tell you more about it. So this new product basically has a single purpose in mind, and that is it wants to package everything, like all this amazing technology that we created, right? So Oasis as a scheme, the implementation by 1031 Bank, and also Fastbot as a service that facilitates the swaps that we already see working in the wallet. And so that's a lot of actors, a lot of names, a lot of brands that all together, work in unison to then enable users to do a swap. But we thought, so the great thing about Oasis is that it's very easy for people to make a swap, right? I can exchange fiat for crypto extremely easily. I don't have to do a sign up. I can do it simply by bank transfer. So we thought to ourselves, okay, why have this kind of like organizational complexity with Oasis and Fastbot and 1031, which nobody's going to be willing or maybe also able to understand and learn? We thought to ourselves, okay, let's really get back to our idea of putting usability first and making things easy for users. We're going to release a service that is a standalone web app where basically you can come, bring your own wallet address, and buy and sell crypto as easy as that. So no registration, no sign-up process, not even the necessity to create a Nimiq wallet. Let's say maybe you run Trust Wallet. You just go to our website, you bring your address, you sell how much you want to buy or to sell, and you make your transaction.
I see. So if it's like, I remember when back in the day, the only way to buy crypto was in an exchange, and it was kind of difficult. And then I think ChangeLly was one of the first ones that came out, and other services started coming out. Then after ChangeLly, then now you have Change Now and Shapeshift and Change Hero and all this like Swap Zone, a lot of similar services that use an exchange in the backend. Oasis is like this cornerstone in on top of which other sorry about the motorcycle on top of which other projects can be built. And I guess it's like this new generation of payment providers. And then we were building the first one, then this product. Because other people could build something similar using Oasis, but then we're building like the first generation of a new non-custodial decentralized crypto to fiat bridges.
Yeah, you know, to me, it is also a lot about really using the technology, leveraging the technology, but at the same time, not forcing it onto the user, right? Really creating something that is from its very, you know, initial idea of what that service might be, how it might look, not care about the technicalities of it. Focus entirely of end user value, you know. That I think is like maybe new in general, and I think also a bit of a new thing for Nimik as a project, you know, as a very tech focused project. We're, you know, doing things the right way and doing them the decentralized way, always is at the focus. And then we also do it in a way where it's easy for users, right? Here now we're looking at something that really starts with the user, and for example, like a beginner who only now wants to get into Bitcoin, right? Like buying their first portion of Bitcoin. They maybe don't even know what a wallet is. They are completely scared by exchanges and the complexity of it. They don't want to upload their ID card anywhere, and basically enabling those people with a service that makes it painfully simple to buy and sell.
Yeah, and I think something interesting is that by we're trying to make it easier. Removing the necessity of adding personal information is not only, of course, good for anonymity, but also is just less hassle. There's a lot of people that it's not like they want to avoid it. For some people, just KYC is just, it takes too long. Sometimes I was helping the other day somebody to buy actually some NIM using MoonPay, and she wanted to buy and she was like doing it, but then it got stuck. Her ID, just like she uploaded the ID and it just kept like loading for like half an hour, and she was like, yeah, I feel like I just don't want to buy anymore, just, you know. And it's not that you want to not upload your personal information. Sometimes this is the extra friction or extra barrier that makes people just to like, you know, I just don't want to jump through that hoop. I'm okay. I'm not going to do it. And if we remove this barrier, then it's going to be easier for people in terms of adoption. Sorry, Sven, what were you going to say?
No, it's also a general move. Like even though sometimes decentralization is more complex at first, but also a lot of progress has been made. Like when you look at the Uniswap interface, for example, it has reached quite a nice level of usability, I would say. And for example, what Torchain is doing now to have interchange atomic swaps, which is already pretty amazing. What is just still missing in the mix, and I think it's kind of cool that Oasis is plugging into that whole drive that is happening right now by saying, okay, we also have atomic fiat crypto swaps. So if you can put this now, all those three pieces together, you become, you realize a real decentralized DeFi system in the end, which needs all those three parts. So I think it's an exciting moment. It's just perfect timing also for that. And people are willing to do it, right? I mean, why using Uniswap if you could use a centralized exchange? And Uniswap is growing every minute still.
Yeah, so I very much agree also with what you said, Richie. I've made similar experience, and I'm pretty sure that most people in crypto they have them too, right? somebody is interested, like genuinely interested, and they want to make a move and they want to get into crypto, and now they are looking for a way, and it just is too troublesome, right? Exactly what you said. There's just like that might be then the final loop that they don't want to jump through. I had the same experience with people just getting frustrated, right? Because they feel like, okay, I already want to buy it. Why is it so hard for me? And people are used centralized digital services, that go to great lengths to make very seamless user experiences. Everything is easy. The people just kind of expect this kind of having an easy and straightforward experience, right? Yeah,
There's
so
also some
I think it is super interesting, and the what you said, Sven, I thought that was interesting. That kind of like we are plugging into that, but I honestly believe quite confidently that we are very much looking at the situation where we are leading this, because we are making it now even less complicated and more direct for people to buy, right? So
exactly.
there has been a lot of development, and those swap solutions, they've gained like a huge following. They handle a lot of volume, but nobody's able to do what we are right now able to do, right? It's registration-free, hassle-free buying and selling of crypto. It's really a world's first in my mind.
It's that missing piece. That's what I tried to say, right? You have that swap, you have now the token exchange among chains, but fiat is also there, and it's very important for people to get going with all this. I mean, anybody could use Uniswap if you have tokens already, but if you start from scratch and you don't have any tokens, people are just already like busted because they just how to do that. That's just so complicated. Exactly. And it's also strange, like if I go to Amazon and I sign up and I buy something with credit card, the product arrives the next day, right? If I go online and I want to buy with credit card some crypto, I have to do KYC. Like it also doesn't make any sense, right? It's just, but it is what it is. So I think we're opening that space to become more normal, and I hope in the future it's going to be more of that normal situation, because it's nothing that fancy. If I go to a bank and buy some dollars, or if I go to an exchange shop somewhere around the corner, I don't have to do KYC to buy US dollars.
Yeah,
Not necessarily.
I think that's like also an interesting point, because I anticipate that for example that solution that we are building and more of the same kind will follow, I'm sure, They also make the crypto experience more normal, so to say, because the inclusion of an exchange in this basic process of, okay, I now want to get into some crypto, but people don't think like, I want to create an account on an exchange. It's a complete in a way like a hurdle that nobody asks for. Nobody wants to have this intermediary step, and this is also not what is in the user's imagination when they first interact with crypto, right? I have to learn about that. I have to learn that I need to have like a wallet, and I need to sign up with an exchange, and it's unnecessary, right? It doesn't have to be like that. But maybe also to have that less abstract. Can you give a quick sneak peek in what we're looking at actually, so that maybe
Perfect.
also for everybody watching and listening becomes less abstract.
Yeah, we usually do that post edition, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think you can do screen sharing right away. Why not?
You
Why
can do
not?
screen sharing. You'll be a first in this series of podcasts.
Okay, so before I show this small disclaimer, we're looking at wireframes, very early stage wireframes. Like no design, it's no final wording. Also, we already have a working title for this product. That too is not final, but we're working on it. And I think when we are launching then Oasis, getting rid of the beta, enabling the selling, raising the limits, then we will also have like a more concrete answer to what the service is going to be called. But anyways, here it is. So we are looking at what is called super simple swap, maybe, potentially. And as
It
you
reminds me a little bit of Star Wars. The look, the cleanness, nice. It looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, those are wireframes, right? But I
Cool.
do think that they still already look somewhat slick. Anyways, I'm just gonna give you like a quick walkthrough. So basically, this product would be on a website that you would just navigate to. It would not be branded in a Nimiq fashion per se, you know, like so people like Nimiq OGs, they will definitely recognize the Nimiq handwriting here and there, but our idea is to really make it neutral, right? So somebody who's exclusively interested in Bitcoin, who might not yet be ready to interact with altcoins and can't be bothered at this early point in their kind of crypto journey, that we really don't want to obstruct it for anybody. You know, you should not feel like, okay, here's some coin and project is trying to push stuff on me. We want to have it accessible, open for everybody. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a very simple interface, super simple, so to say. And what you can basically do is pretty similar to many other exchange services that are there. So you get to change your asset, of course. You know, you get to put in how much you want to have of whatnot, and what we can already see here is the input that you have to add onto it. You know, so if, for example, I want to sell some Bitcoin, the only thing that I type in here is the account owner name and the IBAN address of that bank account that I want to get my euro to. You know,
That's all. It's like really, like, not talking seriously, it's really easy because there's not the cool thing here is that I guess from the point of view of UX, you don't have to, like, there's not a lot of like next screens, right? It's only one screen by that's it. It's simple. It's
Nice. That
straightforward.
should also work really nice on mobile, right? It's just I can imagine right away. Nice.
Mm.
And I can use whatever wallet I like, right? I can
Exactly.
use my
So
Trust wallet. I can do whatever. Paste my address if I want
as
to.
long as you have an address, right? So in this case where you would pay euro to receive Bitcoin, you would here be invited to basically put in your Bitcoin address. We also ask for your bank identifier, although it might be a bank name. We're still figuring this out because, of course, we still have to check, hey, does your bank actually support type of fast wire transfer that we require here, right? But let's say I want to go and buy some Bitcoin, so I put in some euro. Like, don't, please, that probably does not hold. I put in my bank identifier. It won't, if everything is fine, it won't even talk to me. I only get notified here if there's a problem, and I put in my address. And if we quickly reload the prototype, we can see. So our idea would be to basically have a button in this input field where I could click on create address in case I don't have any. So this would
like completely new first time, no? For example.
exactly. Yeah, I just don't have an address. So where do I get one from? The service will answer that for you. And it will lead you to the Nimiq wallet creation, of course, which will then populate this field for you. So we're trying to make it nicely and integrated, but then again, at the same time, feel free to whatever you like. So let's say I make my endpoints here, I make my inputs here, and then I want to continue and actually hit buy. So that will be the next step. And here we're looking at something that might be a little unusual for services like that, and it is due to the high degree of decentralization that we allow here. So we ask you to download a receipt. This receipt basically, it has swap ID in it. It has all the values that you wanted to exchange, what currencies, and your bank information. And what this does, it basically, so it's a receipt, so you can look at it at some later point if you want to document your buying and selling. But even more importantly, it is like a backup, like an insurance for you not to get lost in what is to come. So with this thing, you will always be safe, and if there any issue occurs, you'll be able to reclaim your asset or continue your swap, or if there really is a big problem, you
like
can
in a shop, right? I have my receipt, and if I find out something is not correct to the product, something didn't work out, I go back to the shop, I have my receipt, and will receive help.
Exactly. And I mean, also, like, we're trying to make it like not scary for new people, because this is not a centralized service, right? There are chances of people like losing money by behaving, you know, in a not so smart way, as it is the case with cryptocurrency, right? And this way we feel like we're giving people like an easy, you know, easily understandable type of backup. I might also at all times be able to get more information up here. But so anyway, let's say I download my receipt, I continue, and then I basically have to wait. This applies for the case where I'm buying cryptocurrency, right? So the HTLCs are being created now. They are being funded and prepared, and that just takes some time. You can look at some more details if you like to, you know, but we also assume that probably most people, they won't stick around for 5 minutes, so they go off to do something, but it doesn't matter as long as they have their receipt. They also don't need to basically stick around. Still, you shouldn't close that window. And then after 5 minutes, you're basically presented with your payment. So to finalize your payment now, you just like wire money to this address with this reference, and then you're golden, right? That's basically it. So to like recap it, you know, also like go the other direction, make your input, say what your name is, say what your IBAN address, click on sell, download your receipt. In this case, it actually takes less time, and there you go. Send your Bitcoin to this address, you know, also like consider those fees, and you will almost instantly get euro to your account.
So I really like the receipt feature, because I could see a lot of people like there are new feeling that this is kind of like a friendly way of getting introduced into crypto, and also it will help them probably for taxes and for accounting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess every crypto holder is aware of that, right? How that is something where there's something to go back to and look into at some later point.
Yeah, because I like actually something that we can talk about in another edition, but that I've seen very interestingly is now that crypto is going to start, or it starts getting more regulated, and there's taxes on capital gains, and the US have a more, I guess, a more clear way for people to pay their taxes in from crypto earnings, then now there's actually a niche there. And I've seen actual products aimed at organizing or getting the accounting out of your crypto purchases and your crypto trading, because it can get really messy when you're like trading and selling here and buying there, and like, you know, after a while doing your accounting for an entire year of trading and crypto things, it can get messy, and having receipts from purchases from this tool is really, it could prove very beneficial in the future.
Yeah, I think especially for people who are kind of like newbies, right, or who are also not really interested in like engaging in anything like regular trading, but basically once in a while they want to buy some Bitcoin. I think that is a very probably the most relevant use case for starters, right? And they're just having like a quick collection of PDFs that basically completely document at what point for what amount. Yeah, I'm also fairly happy about, you know, how that in a way it gives users security in the sense that actually their swap can't fail, you know, nothing can go wrong with this receipt, and then at the same time it also gives security by just having a documentation. But before we go on, I would love to take like 2-3 more minutes to actually also show you an alternative that we have that we're thinking. Probably if you're watching this video, you're probably going to be asked from us in the very near future to help us do user test, because we have another concept for our service that I would like to quickly introduce, and that basically would look like that, you know. So on first glance, I guess this looks way more messy and crowded, which it also is. But actually, with this screen here, you see everything that you will ever see in this process. So imagine that. You would have a website that you could navigate to that would basically show you all of that. And you could buy and sell crypto, and there would be no view change whatsoever. This is literally it. right? So you would say, I want to buy, you say your asset, you enter what kind of amount you want to have. Same as before, you do
The
the
moment,
receipt.
sorry, I hear Richy typing. Look,
Oh yeah, sweet. And then basically you say start and download the receipt, and you can already see below what will then follow, right? There's going to be a locking up of whatever you're going to buy. You're going to be asked to pay a amount to a certain bank connection, and then you will receive your Bitcoin. And basically by putting this in here and then starting, this would then get into focus. 3 easy steps. Only at the second step, I'm actually asked to do anything about it. And that is it. So with this service, you could buy and sell Bitcoin and other crypto with basically only looking at a single interface page. No view change, no links, no pop-ups. That's it. And for that, I believe we will deliver the easiest and the fastest way of buying and selling crypto ever, like to this date. I don't think there's any solution anywhere that is even close to delivering this kind of like immediate, instant and puristic buying and selling experience.
3 steps, huh?
So, anyways, this is the latest in Nimiq product development. Super simple swap, although it might very well be called differently, and also doesn't matter too much. It's going to be standalone, and it's going to be completely independent for everybody to use.
I think it's going to take Oasis to the next level, right? Makes it from an idea, it will turn it into a real product. And this is just one of many, right? We're thinking of Oasis Pro as well, simply which will extend the current Oasis situation into, you can do KYC, so you can actually have large volumes. We are talking, or we are addressing and talking to OTC companies. So those are actually people or companies that do large trades. For other companies that want to exchange, sometimes we talk millions of dollars into crypto, forth and back, because they do this as a business. So they need a special interface and special service for that. And the Oasis Pro will help with that. So you can actually really do all the identification process, and then the sky's the limit, basically. That's going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting for DEXs, of course, also the integrations. We're thinking of integrations into wallets, and the service itself is just basically like this little kernel, right? That or this little seedling. But what can actually grow out of it's going to be very interesting. I think there's a lot of ideas coming in. Even I remember Micha, who we had on the Nimik update 2 calls ago, I think. He already also had several ideas of how to use the Oasis API in ways that we can even consider that might not even have to do with swaps, but using it for a payment service. And seems like there is even more possibilities than we imagined. That's kind of interesting. I think it's going to be really cool. What we're going to see during this year after the launch, and the launch will also include developer documentation, a sandbox as well. A sandbox means so developers can create services, test it on a system that behaves like a live system, but you don't need either euros, you don't need the crypto, you just pretend, and everything, the feedback will be real, the error messages will be real, so you can test your service fully, and then when you feel, okay, everything is working well, you switch it to the actual real life system, and you can have atomic swaps on or crypto or fiat. You could, I mean, in the future, we can imagine having fiat atomic swaps, right? I mean, like for example, between Costa Rica and Europe, we could do euro colonna swaps once Oasis Costa Rica is up and running, and I think this just it just makes you wonder, like, what else is there possible, right? There's like so many options. It's really great.
I mean, I think you touched up on so many interesting possible angles, right? Yeah, the remittances that could really be crazy. Just atomic swapping fiat to fiat. It's also unheard of, right? I mean, that's basically blockchain, cryptocurrency technology making its way back into kind of like conventional banking systems and also improving things there, right? Yeah, so I think the versatility of this technology is basically crazy. Also the the standalone app as something that will make it super easy for new people to buy small amounts of crypto. And that's very same technology, because it is non-custodial, because it is so safe and reliant, can be used to facilitate multi-million swaps, right? For clients who really have the highest demands and standards to security and reliability. They don't want to trust, anybody. Yeah, and all based on the same, the same engine under the hood, so to say.
Yeah, the same simple principle of an atomic swap. I mean, simple in quotes. There's also a blog post. I think we'll link it again in the description for the people that want to really dive into how an atomic swap works. We had some nice blog posts in the past about this. And yeah, it's going to be cool. I mean, talking about colonias and Costa Rica, Richy, what's your experience? I think I mean, you've seen the Costa Rica hackathon going on. What's happening so far? Because Tamu and I are in Germany, and you're in Costa Rica. It would be cool to hear a little bit of an update. What's going on?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, let's move to that topic. Here, there's a lot going on that I cannot speak about. Sorry. I mean, there's a
Nice.
new,
Next
a lot
topic
of
then.
next topic. That's it. No, there's actually like a couple of cool topics that I cannot mention yet. That super excited about. Like honestly, this is going to, I think, this is going to be huge. But let's see, in the next couple of weeks, probably, we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about that. And
can you maybe throw around some
yeah, let's see.
some rough
I mean,
directions?
For example, I know that we
Uh-huh.
can't say names, right? But I mean, rough ideas of which direction. For example, I talked about OTCs. We cannot mention anything, but there's OTCs in the talk.
Yeah, I was going
Other
there.
things also.
Yeah, I was searching a way to like, let's see,
Raise the stakes.
because it's like okay, update. We're working on things we cannot tell you about. Cool, thanks. It's okay. No, but let's see. We are, or through 1031, we are planning to work together with a major payment provider of Europe. But it's something that is in the works. We cannot talk about them or about it yet. But we are actually, it's everything is settled. So I think is at least from my understanding, everything good to go. We're mostly now syncing with them how to announce that we are starting to collaborate. So that is something you probably are going to hear about in the next weeks. That's one. Let's see. The other one is that we've been turning some heads around in the space, and some people have been interested of writing and talking about us. So you are probably going to see much more influencer action in the next couple of weeks. And I cannot say who, but I think it's going to be very cool. And that's one. And let's see. And in terms of the testnet, we are actually working on that together with Germany, right? I think Germany hackathon, where Sven is located right now at, is mostly focusing on the testnet. Everybody there is working on testnet, right? Here we have a mix. We have, of course, some people working on Oasis and Fastbot and these new integrations that I'm talking to you about. But also the rest of the developers are all working in testnet, and it's like really getting the testnet out is priority number one right now. Oasis is like, I guess, packaged already and is being shipped. And developers are looking into it and fine-tuning here and there and working new integrations. But most of the actual developing right now is going into the testnet, debugging, and just shipping it to the community for the community developers that are already actually working in some first versions of it. But to have an actual, like, okay, this is the testnet, a lot of developers are waiting for it, and I think this is right now the priority. And from that end, debugging, there's like several small groups of developers that are looking into specific issues. Also, Sven, maybe tell me how is the environment there? How is the mood?
Sure. I've been talking with Sebastian regularly. Pascal was here as well. I did some recordings with Pascal, so I think by the time this video comes out, maybe we'll see some more of that as well. That was really cool. And I think also the next update we'll dedicate maybe to the hackathon part in Germany. there will be Sebastian, there will be Bruno, and so then we can go into details of what's the current state, how is the debugging going. I've been chatting with Sebastian, of course, and some days he's very happy because he fixed the bug, then some other day where he feels really like, this is frustrating, there's another bug and yet another one. But it's like the whole team is helping everybody with different parts. And I feel the sentiment is getting more and more positive. I feel he's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and the testnet is running further and further. And so I think we're talking weeks. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be something is going to get together in the next few weeks, I think. Yeah. I mean,
and
nobody
also
can promise anything.
Yeah, we cannot promise. But something interesting is that we're going to have some new people to receive some guests here in the Costa Rican hackathon. Some ex-colleagues of Jeff that they used to work with him coding, and they are going to just come here and do a little bit of a kind of a small seminar, an introduction to see how it goes for them. And because it's for both sides, I feel we want to assess how skilled they are, and also not only that, but also how well they adapt to the culture of the team. And also they want to assess how much we adapt to their culture as individuals. So we are going to have them over, and they're going to work with us. Jeff is going to prepare a couple of tasks for them to help us, and then we're going to see where it gets from there. The plan is, if everything it's two ex-colleagues from Jeff, and remember, we already have one ex-colleague from Jeff, Sergio. So I hope nobody from HP is watching this, but we are kind of stealing all your workers and developers. No, I'm kidding.
But only the best ones.
Only the best ones. No, of course. It's always good. That's usually how we work, right? When you know somebody that is talented, we trust each other in the team, and when somebody like Jeff comes in and says, "Hey, we need more help to get Albatross out," and we can get faster if we have maybe these guys that are very good at it. So they're going to come. Let's see how it goes, and maybe in the future we'll be interviewing one of them to see how it goes. But so it's two of them, and let's see, maybe the two of them join, maybe one joins, or maybe none of them. But it's for it to be seen. But for sure, it would be beneficial to have more coders in our team. And also we talked in the past that Frontend already has somebody new in the same kind of program, like an internship, seeing how he adapt and we adapt to him. And that's information from him from Costa Rica. Everybody working in Testnet, and me from marketing, getting Oasis ready, a marketing campaign. In terms of that, so now that actually we are three from that sector, from marketing, Oasis campaign. Let's go to that topic.
Yeah, I mean,
where do we start?
Preparation, right? I mean, been busy the whole time with that, right? The agency that we hired as well to support us in this effort is helping us a lot to reach influencers and to also, of course, get press releases out there. And we have to write content, we review content. So that's been really ongoing, but I feel also it's slowly things are coming together, at least the last week for sure. So when can we announce the launch date, huh?
I think maybe this next week. This next week.
Next week, I think so. So maybe when this video is coming out, we will have a very good understanding of when we can actually launch. It's always this kind of things. We would love to announce it 1 week ago, but if things go wrong and things take 2 days more, it has usually been better to just make everything work perfectly and then throw it out there. That's how Nimik does it.
Maybe we can already share that it's going to be less than a month.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
June.
I feel it's like kind of like preparing for a concert, I guess. Like you have the sound guys and then the light guys and visuals and all the electricians and everything, and moving things around, everything for some hours of for the show. So there's a lot of preparation that needs to go on for the launch. And yeah, like Sven said, writing content, reviewing it, talking with the agency to make sure everything that they share with the influencers have been approved and reviewed by us, because we always try to of course, we try to do marketing in an educational way, increasing visibility, telling people what we're doing from a tech point of view, telling people what we're bringing to the table in terms of new technology, and trying to avoid, the usual hype and fake promises. We like to not to promise, but over deliver. It's always our creed.
Yeah, we heard enough of that stuff in the crypto space recently, right? So much FUD and questions and FOMO. So I think we're not gonna hop into that too much and just deliver
No,
quality.
but maybe to go into the crypto scene, like what has happened in the last couple of weeks and in last week, everybody's talking about it, right? The crypto crash. Even everybody, not only in the crypto scene, everybody outside of the crypto scene. If you talk with, like, at least for me, people that are not into crypto they have been contacting me a lot. Like some of them, like, hey, sorry, I read in the news that Bitcoin just plunged in price, and sorry, feel sorry about you. And I'm like, don't worry, diamond hands, no, this is just I've been here before. But there's other people like, hey, I've heard this is a good time to buy. Should I buy? And there's a lot of commotion in crypto because of this crash, and a lot. And the thing that I would like to discuss is what's behind the crash. Of course, there's a lot of people can speculate and people can talk about different things. There's one single thing that nobody can deny that was very interesting and happened at the same time of the crash is, of course, Mr. Musk. Not playing, I don't know, it's going to come after me, but I guess using his mediatic power to I don't know, to see what happens with the price of crypto. So yeah, of course, him saying Tesla was accepting crypto increased the price of Bitcoin and the overall bullish feeling in crypto. And then now he's saying that Tesla is not going to accept Bitcoin again. It's like there's a lot of angles where you can discuss this. First, people say, like, come on, you are like the leader of like you're sending people to Mars and the leader of a car electric company reinventing electric cars, and you didn't know about Bitcoin mining, environmental issues or concerns. Like you had to have researched this. Of course, I don't know. Nobody, yeah, but I'm not here to make any claims, and of course, like.
Oh, I thought that's what we're totally gonna do. I have some claims.
No, but.
I mean, I heard, for example, that Tesla is earning most of its revenue from CO2 certificates, right? From carbon certificates, because actually the cars don't make that much money, and the rumors go very strongly that the SEC simply said, okay, if you do a lot of this crypto thing, we will start accounting this towards your carbon neutral approach, and you can sell less certificates, and that is just a huge bummer for the company. And suddenly they removed Bitcoin from the website. So I felt so far this has been the most convincing argument that I've heard.
I mean, I think that you're absolutely right. That sounds pretty plausible. But I think maybe things could even be easier because I think they must have only got a lot of attention out of that, right? Getting into the crypto, selling Teslas for Bitcoin, that has like made them a lot of press. And then now also like pretty much again, they're getting a whole bunch of attention from basically presumably single-handedly crashing the market. And I'm sure they've made some nice bank on it, but they definitely have profited a lot from all the additional attention that they're receiving.
Definitely. I mean,
that could have been the rational all along, right? That could have been the plan from the get-go.
Maybe it's that simple.
It's quite speculation, but
it would make sense.
Possible. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they sold part of the whole things, right? Saying we test liquidity, but we don't buy back. We test liquidity and we keep it. So after it went up, so they definitely cashed out quite a bit to basically refinance their investments earlier. So that's clear, right? And now they've basically addressed both audiences. First, they got all the crypto audience to go, yay, when it was going up. And when it was struggling, they got all the environmentalists to say, oh, yeah, this Bitcoin is not really good. So, yeah, buy a Tesla.
Yeah. Now people are going to be like, I'm going to test the liquidity of Nimik.
No, nobody will ever do that. But I mean,
you don't sell.
I guess whatever might have been.
Of course, I'm kidding.
I guess that doesn't even really matter that much. I think what I find personally more, concerning than also the crash. I mean, everybody familiar with crypto will know that this is, really like it will be bygones, very soon.
Yeah.
But it is I think it is concerning that basically an individual can have such a huge influence on something that is supposed to be decentralized, right?
And that's where I was going, actually. That's the question I wanted to go, like, to the actual point of, is crypto then, so I guess, is it ready? Is this maybe a metric of immaturity, sorry, from the overall space, that somebody just tweeting something immediately make the price of like the asset goes 30% down?
I would totally say so. I think like it is. So either there's a no. I would kind of commit to saying that it's an indication of how this process of finding a price, how early we are still here, and also how insecure people are, right? And being like the optimistic that I am, I would also take it as a sign of how much more movement and volume, and at the end of the day price, and most importantly relevance, we're going to see, because it seems we are still early.
This is not financial advisor.
Well, it absolutely is not, but I think basically I think we're seeing that the price of Bitcoin is hugely influenced by basically, emotions and momentums, which of course is nothing new at all. But the how big the extent of that is, which was, I think, exposed by this whole Elon Musk, like, going in and going out, can be used as an indicator of how early we still are with the price discovery of Bitcoin's kind of like intrinsic value, being this payment system that everybody can use in a way. Yeah, we're just not there yet. We seem to still be at the very beginning.
Yeah, like people say, if I don't know, if Obama says, hey, I'm not going to accept any more dollars, I don't think that's going to affect a lot the US economy. People are going to be like, oh, okay, why though? I guess, okay by you, but that's it, right? One person's opinion, no matter how big they are or how important they are, popular or relevant, should not affect a financial economic system. And that's the way with crypto, same.
The elections have influenced a lot the stock market and the dollar price also. So, I mean, at that moment, you could feel the influence, but of course, an election is bigger than just what an individual person does. That's right. That's still way to go.
But my point is that this is actually something that crypto, I feel, at least this is personal opinion, something that crypto aims to solve, this kind of monopoly, or having people, specific people that can control the market, and then you go back to a problem like that.
No, it's not a problem you can solve with technology. It's a social problem. It's like people love fun.
I always like this. I saw this meme actually, and I feel it goes in line with what we try to do here at Nimik, trying to go a little back on topic. That we are a team, we are known, but it's not on us. Most of Nimik, we try to also give back to the community, give control, give power for everybody to be part of this economy. And also, if something happens, like in terms, for example, of communication in community, if I have a vacation or I have time off, there's other community managers and other people. If I go crazy and I want to do something, there's other community managers that will tell me, hey, Richy, come on, like, no, we are not going to allow you to do this. We try to be decentralized. So I saw this meme that people go, okay, Ethereum in Vitalik we trust, Dogecoin in Elon Musk we trust, Litecoin in Charlie Lee we trust, Cardano in Hodgkinson we trust, Bitcoin in Satoshi we trust. And who is Satoshi? And that's kind of the power there. And we try to go, okay, we are known at Team Nimiq, but we try also to decentralize the control and the power in the Nimiq blockchain, for it to be like, okay, Nimiq in all of us we trust, like for people to feel like there's nobody, Team Nimiq, they are right now doing the research and the implementation of Nimiq 2.0, but after that, everybody is part of it and is also responsible for helping in any way they can.
Yeah, nicely put.
I think we had one or two calls ago a very rough idea to give to people of how Nimiq works internally, so people can also review that. Because many people would say, "Oh, yeah, you need a leader, you need a CEO," and inside of Nimiq we have come together and decided, okay, we want to create a decentralized currency, a decentralized ecosystem. Let's go all the way and also create a decentralized team where we don't need any CEO, where we're not going to put one on top that makes all the decision and everything trickles down. No, we will try to make democratic decisions, and it's not always easy, but it's the proper way to do it.
I think there was some years ago there was a bit of like a battle cry for like the Web3 community, right? Like no charismatic leaders, you know, as something that basically is the same thing as centralization, very much, you know.
Perfectly.
No matter how our system is structured, if there are those people, you know, and just like humans tendency in general to kind of flock around, you know, like people like who are leading figures. But yeah, I mean, there are plenty examples of how this can be very, very helpful.
Yeah, and actually felt it firsthand the other day here at Nimiq. We got interviewed by a relevant media outlet. I cannot say who is, but it was interesting because then, okay, we have this important call, and who goes to the call? And it was actually a discussion we had internally. Okay, who gets? It's not who gets to whose responsibility is it to go and represent Nimiq, and we kind of like. We at least here at Costa Rica, we all agreed nobody should. It's not like one person. So it was me, Philip, and Ilion represented kind of like three angles of the project, and
makes sense, huh?
it was like it felt good that nobody felt like, okay, yeah, no, this is like I am the one who should be here. No, like, okay, you say your part, you say, and we prepare a little bit for the call, and then everybody is responsible for their area. We coordinate, and of course it takes a little bit more time than just one person saying just, but this is decentralization, and it has its, I guess, maybe challenges and some difficulties sometimes, but it of course has rewards.
And it works. I mean, we got this Oasis thing together, and now we're also working on Testnet, and this Oasis thing is going to be out there soon. So that's, I think it's exciting, and I guess you can discuss a lot about this, but if we can prove it to the people saying, hey, yeah, it works, look at it, try it out. I think that's my favorite.
Yep. Okay. And with these then exciting words, let's wrap it up here. Thanks a lot, Tamu, for joining us and for sharing this. This is like the quintessential definition of a leak, basically, showing us super simple swap here.
Well, yeah, but also, you know, everybody get ready because you will need to help us test this thing and basically find out what is the best approach to take here, so that in the end, you know, we're able to ship a product that yeah, I'm just super excited. I think it's going to blow up like crazy, honestly. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing all this sneak peek. I really enjoyed it. And it's another way of showing also that Team Nimiq or our collaborators also, they always try to share things a little bit, test it with the community, try to get the best product, and not just something that we think is great, but actually test it. Nice.
I really like now that some people join the community and they're like, hey, what's happening? What's going on? And they're like, hey, look at the podcast. It's like you kind of like hear sneak peeks and updates and little information. I think it goes a long way. So thanks for joining us. Remember to share any topics that you want us to talk about. Here, of course, we talked about the Testnet and Oasis, which are very interesting and important, but there's so many little things going on that there's always stuff to talk about.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, more details on the Testnet, because I'm going to have Sebastian and Bruno to support me. That's going to be interesting also. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, guys, for joining. Enjoy the nice rest of the day.
Okay,
all right.
Bye, everybody.
And we're clear.